The number one rule in marketing is give people what they want. And it turns out you people want more copywriting tips. At least that's what my YouTube stats tell me. So here are 13 more copywriting tips you can start using right now. You can use these strategies for sales pages, email marketing, VSLs, everything. And it all starts with a simple concept. Number one, make people watch a movie in their head. And the prospect is the star. So you're asking the smart question, what does that mean? It means the reader can imagine the result they get from the product or the service. In fitness, this could be taking off your shirt on the beach and showing off those brand new six-pack abs. What if it's golf? It's hitting a golf ball 150 yards and making all your buddies jealous. Or what if it's something related to making money? It's walking up to the boss, giving him the middle finger and saying, I quit because I'm doing my own thing now. So your writing must get the reader to imagine a physical reality. They have to imagine doing something out in the real world as a result of working with you. Now, I could do a 2-hour video on this topic alone, but I'll leave you with just one tip for putting this into action. Try starting a sentence with, imagine if you, and then add a physical reality. If you were selling a course on how to play guitar, you could say, imagine if you played that Van Halen guitar solo note for note in front of a screaming crowd. Number two, make people think past the sale. This is closely related to the first tip and we're gonna build on it. You want your prospect answering questions as if they've already decided to buy. Here's the classic example. You're buying a car. The salesman asks, do you like black or do you like red? The second you answer that question, you are thinking past the sale because you're thinking about which color you like, not whether you actually want to buy the car. You're only thinking about the color if you want to buy it. You are thinking as if you've already decided to buy. This takes you one step closer to saying yes. So let's revisit that sentence from tip number one. Imagine if you played that Van Halen guitar solo note for note in front of a screaming crowd. How is this thinking past the sale? Well, the prospect could say, well, I would love to play like Eddie Van Halen, but I don't want to play in front of a screaming crowd. I just want to play in my bedroom or in the garage. The playing in front of a screaming crowd part is an exaggeration to get people thinking about positive results, period. Because if you're asking yourself, do I want to play in front of a screaming crowd or not, you are accepting that you will play better. You assume that buying leads to a positive outcome. Here's another classic example. Do you remember that Tim Ferriss book, The 4-Hour Workweek? A lot of people looked at the title and said, you know, a 4-hour workweek sounds crazy, but I'd settle for 20. So they're accepting the idea of a short workweek, even if it's not the exact one Tim Ferriss said. The title, 4-Hour Workweek, is an exaggeration to get you to think about the benefits of a shorter workweek. Another great example, 8-minute abs. Do you remember that? That was a monster hit, and the whole concept was getting people to think past the sale. Number three, focus on the benefits, not the features. People do not buy products. They buy solutions to problems and paths to new opportunities. Because here's an ugly reality. Nobody cares about your book or your online course or your nutritional supplement or the funny t-shirts you sell. Human beings care about two things, their fears and their dreams. So that's what you need to talk about. You do that by focusing on benefits, which are the results people get from dealing with you. So personally, I'd like to lose 20 pounds. So I want to hear about how great I'll feel when I fit into my old pants. I want to hear about how I'll have more energy and confidence. I don't want to hear about how I'll need to cut out sugar for the next 3 months. That's pain. That's not a dream. That's just pain. Now, you can't ignore features altogether because people do need to know what they're buying, but keep it to a minimum. The more you talk about features, the more you're talking about yourself and the less you talk about what the buyer cares about, fears and dreams. That is an ego trap, which is the death of all marketing. Later on in this video, you will learn the power of negative benefits, so keep on watching. Now, if you've made it this far, there's a 64% chance you care about who I am. My name is Michael Comeau, and I'm a New York-based marketing consultant specializing in copywriting and email marketing. This channel gives you simple, actionable strategies that help you make more money and build better relationships with your customers. If you've enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. You can also subscribe to this channel for more marketing lessons. And later in the video, I'll show you how to get my free video course. Again, absolutely free, so keep watching. Now, let's talk about how to make those features work for you when you do talk about them. So number 4 is use the So You framework. Don't say, get a detailed diet plan. Say, get a detailed diet plan so you can eat delicious meals while shrinking your waistline. Don't say our chocolate uses ethically grown cocoa. Say our chocolate uses ethically grown cocoa so you can help support sustainable farming communities. The So You framework helps you add benefits to your features so you stay focused on what the buyer wants. It's not just about you bragging about your product, which again, nobody cares about. You can use different wording for this, of course. You don't have to actually say so you or so you can. Just make sure every time you talk about a feature, add a specific benefit to it. Now let's talk about my favorite topic. Number 5, polarize the audience. The easiest way to fail as a copywriter is to try to please everyone. The key to success is polarity, meaning you use your writing to divide the audience into 2 groups. The first group is potential buyers. The second group is everyone else. You must put all your energy into appealing to those potential buyers, which might be 3% of people that visit your pages. And you forget about the 97% that were never going to buy. In fact, you try to just push them away. Let's say I ran a coaching program for entrepreneurs earning over $250,000 a year that want to go to 1 million. I might write something like, if you earn less than $250,000 a year, please don't apply. You are not ready for this. This is polarizing because it pushes the wrong people away. It says this is not for you. And by definition, it tells the right people, we are here just for you, and it pulls them in. Saying you are not ready for this was aggressive, and that was intentional. First thing is it's memorable, and some of those people may come back as buyers in the future when they are ready. Also, if you get negative feedback from the wrong people, it's a sign your writing resonates on an emotional level. People are feeling something. Just remember that you have to hold your ground. If you are making sales to the right people, you're an idiot if you change to please non-buying critics. And of course, if you're not making sales at all, you need to go back to the drawing board. Polarizing only works if you're seeing some sales. Later on in this video, I'll show you how to perform a very simple polarity test using your girlfriend or your mom. Number 6, say who it's for. In my last video on copywriting tips, link is down in the video description, I talked about the power of saying who should not buy. But it also helps to spell out who should buy, and you should be specific. So I've been seeing YouTube ads from a company called Superhuman CEO that offers fitness services to men making over $150,000 a year. Now you're probably saying, but doesn't that turn off a lot of people? I mean, there's only a small number of men that make that much money. Yes, it does turn them off. But if you're smart, you're turning off people who are never going to buy anyway, which is what we just talked about. That might be the case for Superhuman, though we can't know for sure because we're on the outside. We don't see their numbers. But there's another angle to being specific about who something is for. It automatically makes it more interesting, and people may buy even if they don't fit the description perfectly. Number 7, use the word because. In my last copywriting tips video, I emphasized the importance of the word you. Here's another very important word, because. A 1978 Harvard study showed that the word because had a huge impact on getting people to comply with requests. The researchers said that using the word because makes people assume there is a good reason for doing something, whether or not the reason makes perfect sense. So if you feel like your copy isn't convincing, just try to use the word because where it makes sense. It forces you to spell out things very simply for your prospects. Here's an example. Our weight loss program is easy because you get all your meal and exercise plans in plain English. Or what if you were selling a high-tech food blender? Our blender will last decades because we use patented titanium blades made out of the same material used on the space shuttle. Number 8, use blind bullets. One of the most important things your readers need to feel is curiosity. You want them wondering, what's really inside after I buy? What's really there? A great way to drive curiosity is to write blind bullets. What's a blind bullet? It's a bullet point that teases a benefit while leaving out all the details. Let's say you sell a course on how to shoot 3-pointers in basketball. You could have a bullet that says, a secret used by the most underrated shooter in NBA history that can increase your accuracy by 27%. Now, who's the most underrated shooter in NBA history? I have no idea. And what's the secret? Is it related to form, sports psychology, fitness? Again, I have no idea. Or you could write, stop making the single shooting mistake that will guarantee you ride the bench for the next 4 years. Now, what's the shooting mistake? Again, I have no idea. And did you notice that this is a form of thinking past the sale? If I'm wondering what the mistake is, I'm already considering that I might need the course to get that solution. And did you notice that I played a movie in your head? Because you can imagine riding the bench, which is very frustrating. Also, did you notice I just used the word because? Do you see how all these things tie together? It's really, really a beautiful thing, isn't it? Let me know in the comments below if you think this is beautiful. Number 9, share your work with your girlfriend. When you finish a piece of copy, show it to your girlfriend or your drinking buddy or your mom. Anyone who's not a copywriter or a marketing person, and say, my friend wrote this, he wanted some fresh eyes on it. Can you take a quick look at it? Now, why would you do this? You're testing for clarity and polarity. Again, my favorite topic. Let's talk about clarity first. If your volunteer critic says, I just don't get it, you need to take a fresh look at your writing. You have clarity issues or organizational problems. But what about polarity? If you get a very positive or very negative reaction, you are on the right track. Doesn't matter which one. You're trying to see if your writing generates a visceral reaction, something in people's bodies. Because when that happens, it means you're polarizing readers, which is one of your key missions. If your girlfriend says, this is so stupid, why would anybody ever buy this? Your copy is doing its job. Remember, she's probably not the target market. She's not a buyer, but she's feeling something. Now, you have to be more careful with positive reactions because people will lie to be nice. That's why I said to say your friend wrote it. But watch body language. If people's bodies are amped up while reading, odds are they're having a real emotional reaction. Number 10, answer the question, why now? A sales page or an email or a VSL is always answering the question, why? Why should you buy this? Why should you pay attention? Why should you care? But it's also important to answer the question, why now? Do I get any benefit from buying today rather than a month or a year from now? Now, if you're a financial advisor or an accountant, maybe there's a tax loophole closing at the end of the year, so people need to know about it now. Or if you're a personal trainer, maybe people need to start today to be in shape for bikini season 3 months from now. Or what if you sell Star Wars shirts? Maybe you have a really popular shirt that's about to be discontinued, so you should mention that so people can get it now before it's gone. You can't do this with every type of product, but it always pays to ask, what makes my product more attractive today than next month? Now, discounts are always an obvious way to answer the question, why now? But you don't want to overdo that because it can hurt your brand. Now, one good way is to offer bonuses, especially if you sell info products like online courses and ebooks. You could say, order by July 1st and get this 2-hour video bonus course. And by the way, on a random note, if you're in the info product space, you should have lots of products so you can create lots of different order types with different types of scarcity. Number 11, create a negative benefit. Now, what is a negative benefit? It's a problem that your product causes that's not really a problem. Here's an example. You'll lose so much weight that you'll have to buy a whole new wardrobe, or you'll make so much money that you'll be writing huge checks to the IRS. It's easy to make these. Just think about the dream outcome and all the side effects of achieving it. Some of them will be negative, but negative in a way that you're not going to mind too much. Number 12, read your copy out loud. A great way to know if your copy flows well is to read it out loud. If it's hard to say, it's hard to read. But if it feels natural to speak it, it will flow like water for your prospect. Better yet, record yourself speaking it. And whenever you hear yourself stumble over something, you know you need to fix that part because it's too complex or it's too clunky. Number 13, remember before how you learned about how people only care about their fears and dreams. Sometimes you want to hit those fears really, really hard and you want to go dark because sometimes those extreme dark things can be very motivating. I will get a little personal with you. A few months ago, I made some radical changes to improve my diet so I could lose weight. Why? I just tell people I want to be more healthy, but when I really think about it, my thoughts get very dark. I don't want my sister to find me dead in my apartment of a heart attack. I don't want to get diabetes and have my foot chopped off. And I could say things that are even way darker than this, but you get the gist. Sometimes digging into the darkness attracts people because those dark thoughts we're all afraid to say, turns out a lot of people are thinking them because we all have deep-seated fears. And if you say the quiet parts out loud, some people will pay very close attention. This goes back to polarizing. You're not worried about the non-buyers. You're worried about the people who will find the message appealing and will think about buying. Just be careful because going dark can repulse people so much that they do nothing. And just so it's said, remember, the best way to learn copywriting is to test everything you can. because the things that work for me may not work for you, and vice versa. We could be selling completely different products to completely different audience. So take what you learned in this video and put it to the test. Find out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Now, if you like this video and you want to learn even more about marketing, do this. Click the link down in the video description. You can join my free marketing newsletter, where you also get my free email marketing video course totally free. You can also head to michael99.com/YouTube or click the link in the video description. And again, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to get a new video every Sunday, and I'll see you soon.